And welcome to putting the basic properties and special limits together. So the idea here is we have seen how to take the limits of a variety of functions, polynomial, rational, trig, and then we have all of our addition rules and power rules, etc. So putting those together, we can now take limits of even more functions. So we have seen how to take the limit of a variety of functions. And we also know how to take the limit of the sum, difference, product, quotient. Etc. And so we can take these functions and throw them together. So for an example, let's say that we wish to find the limit as x goes to pi over 2 of sine x times cosine x. So by our limit rules, limits split across products. So this is the same thing as the limit as x approaches pi over 2 of sine x times the limit as x approaches pi over 2 of cosine x. And then each of these limits, we know that we can just plug in for our trig functions. So again, this first one here, we were using the fact that we can split across the limits across products. Oops. We can just split limits across products. And then here, we know that these are just special limits we can just evaluate. So when we take the limit as x approaches pi over 2 of sine of x, we just get sine of pi over 2. And then when we take the limit as x approaches pi over 2 of cosine of x, we just get cosine of pi over 2. Sine of pi over 2 is 1, cosine is 0, and we wind up getting that that limit is 0. For another example, let's say that we wish to evaluate the limit as x approaches 1 of 2 to the x squared minus 3x plus 6. So this is a composition. This is the limit as x approaches 1 of g of f of x. And we need to figure out what would our inside function be, what would our outside function be. So in this case, our inside function, our f of x, would be that x squared minus 3x plus 6 And our outside function would be 2 to the x. So we can go ahead and figure out the limit of the inside function first, and then go from there. So if we take just the inside function as x squared minus 3x plus 6, and we do the limit as x approaches 1 of x squared minus 3x plus 6. Then we wind up with, we can just evaluate. So we do 1 squared minus 3 times 1 plus 6, or 1 minus 3 plus 6, and we wind up getting 4. So that inside part is going to 4. So the rule for our limits is then that we can go ahead and do the limit as x approaches 4 of 2 to the x. Now, we do know that 2 to the 4th is the same as that limit, so we can just evaluate, and we get 2 to the 4th, or 16. So again, here we're using our composition rule. We can take the limit of our inside function, and then that new value, the limit of our inside function, becomes now what x approaches for the outside function. So up here we're doing, this is the limit of the inside function. And then we moved on to the outside function. So this is just us now being able to evaluate more limits. We can just use algebra and our knowledge of all of these special limits we have seen, and we no longer have to plug in values getting very close to 1 or graph. So we don't need any form of technology to be able to evaluate these limits.